the light on? Hi, everyone, and welcome to a YouTube on the couch with Kerry and Simon.
And me.
So this week we're going to be talking about the light and the love because of Valentine's Day tomorrow. So we're going to be talking about bringing in that beautiful vibration of love and light and what that feels like, because we're aiming for a feeling. So consciousness is a feeling. It's not a thought or a thing. It's a feeling of how do I feel in this moment. Am I taken out of the energy of my light? What does it mean for me right now if I'm not feeling the goodness and the love within? Because we actually have to love ourselves within before we can give love to others. And if we don't do that, we're not being authentic to ourselves. We're not being honest to our true self. Because when we come into a vibrational place of love, our frequency rises, and then we're able to transmit that energy, that beautiful energy of love out to others, meaning we're helping them raise their consciousness as well. And the more of us that do that, the more planet comes into harmony of consciousness, of light, of love. So Simon,
that's the light work, yeah?
Yes, it's called the light work. So to all the beautiful light workers out there, and if you have this awareness and this connection with the inner self, and you understand how you can tap in, tune in, channel, whatever, you are a light worker, because you'll be receiving messages of how to do this work. You'll be awakened or awakening. If you're not sure if you're receiving that, all you need to do is put your hands up. This is how I do it. Hands up and allow that energy to flow to you. And then your body will become calm and relaxed, and then you will receive the messages, receive the insight and the wisdom. And that's simply called the light codes, or you're channeling the energies of the ascendant masters, the angels, and many, many other spirit guides that come in. So it's so simple. I wish I could, well, I am trying to share this with everyone. So simple. So Simon, thank you again for coming. So Simon came last Saturday and we made a wonderful YouTube. So what our intention is just to keep sharing our wisdom and knowledge as we see it, as it comes through to us, and deliver it to you. I'm one, I believe it should be kept simply. I love what Einstein said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it. And what that means for me is, if I can keep it simple, everybody will get it. If I start pulling on these long words or a language that people don't understand, I'm not going to be able to reach the people or the audience that I want. So, Simon, so let me ask you about your feelings about love and light and what that actually means to you.
So, I like what you said firstly about the self-love, that you need to have it before you can send out the love to others. That's for sure true. And I think about love and light is that you can actively work towards it on the inside, that you really feel this. I was meditating, and that's true, a long time with the mantra, I am love and light, And at a certain point, you feel this love growing on your inside. And at a certain point, the people maybe come to you and say, hey, Simon, it's like you're shining from in a light, That's really interesting. I was taught in the ashram where I was to work with positive affirmations in some meditating techniques, like I am full of peace and everything. And I realized that this light and this love inside of me, they are also working together with the inner peace. Like the inner peace is the soil of the love growing inside of us, and the self-love inside of us is the soil for inner peace. So it's influencing each other, and on which we ever work, the other will grow automatically too. And that's, I think, a very, very profitable thing for us to work on self-love because it gives us peace. Yeah, and I for myself realized that peace is the most important thing in my life that I want to experience. Yeah, so and love for sure comes with it, and love is the strongest power in the universe I believe in, and
Yeah.
so we can strengthen it.
So love and peace hold a higher frequency. If you've ever, and I know people have reached out to me and say they really enjoyed this book, but if you've ever read my book, there's a list of frequencies in there from all the research that I've done when it took me 2 years to write this book. But I did a lot of research with Dr. David Hawkins. So if you want to Google him, he has scientifically, there's frequency, vibrational frequency is measured. And if we want to put those words to it, what inner peace means, or peace, you're aiming for inner peace. So it's not where can I go to get some peace? It's how do I get inner peace within? So you're constantly communicating, you're having this inner dialogue to the self, because a lot of us are taught to go external. And when we go external, we're attaching to something outside us. It's about inner work, inner dialogue. Where is my energy right now? And I know I had a big hit through the week, so of low vibrational energy. I was unwell physically, but it also interfered with my vibrational frequency, and I wasn't able to do the work that I love to do, which meant I had to reschedule. I couldn't see clients. And every time this happens to me, not that it happens often, but a couple of days in bed, I have these most profound spiritual experiences, and I can feel myself receiving. And I remember on one of the days or nights, I was woken up, and I'd say it was about 3 in the morning. I didn't check the time, but it felt like someone was shaking me in bed, and I physically thought there was someone there, and I opened my eyes and it wasn't, but it's spirit. This is how, or ascended spirit being, whoever's in the universal energies coming from a high frequency, they're there giving us information and showing us, moving us more to the light.
This shaking in the bed, I practice lucid dreaming, and the next step to lucid dreaming is astral journeys, where you go with your astral body somewhere. And the shaking is the start where the soul is separating from the body. If you let it go and if you let it happen more and more and more, probably you would have been going on astral journey. I don't know if this is possible.
Well, if you've had that astral journey, but my experiences, this happens a lot to me, is more channeling the information. So they come through and present themselves. When I say they, what I'm meaning is my galactic family or ascendant masters, whoever they are. Now, the messages I received was interesting because they were telling me, you have to listen to this message. And what happened was, when I fell asleep, I was listening to someone who channels the universal energies. And when I was woken up with shaking, wake up, and then I was told, you need to listen to this message. It was such a beautiful experience. And that's when I knew I was put into bed to have this spiritual moment. So whether it be for 1 day or 2 days or whatever. And that's the way, since my near-death experience, that's the way I always receive. And I call that channeling. Not channeling for someone, it's the channel that comes through for me. So I do channel work for someone, healing work online and face-to-face. However, this is different because I understand it through my experiences, especially when I work with the dimensions of the spiritual realm and the human form. So they're so very different, and it's about getting those two connected and nicely balanced.
May I ask you what you were listening to before you fell asleep and then you woke up?
I was listening to a podcast from a lady. Actually, I can't even think of her name now, because this is what happens when we're aligned and we're channeling. Either people will show up in human form and present themselves in front of you, or something will come on your feed. Now, I've learned this over time, and I remember when I was channeling Buddha once, and I said, where do I stay? And he said, Google it. And the place I was meant to stay just appeared. And I went, oh, well, that must. And I didn't even pay it any attention. I thought, well, I'll just stay there. There was no procrastinating, because when we procrastinate, we cut off our intuition, which means we're no longer channeling that information. So I knew from that moment on, we're meant to have social media. We're meant to have all this technology, but to be used in a way that serves the self and serves others. And sometimes that doesn't happen. So what happens is, it might be a podcast, and I don't even know who it is, but it's the words that are coming through, because when we're aligned with something, we will receive the messages, whether they come from something external or something from internal. And what I have learned over time with the channeling and developing my intuition since my near-death experience is, if you're not in alignment with that, you're not meant to have that yet. But just ask and you will receive, because what's blocking is the analytical mind comes in and starts to say, oh, no, hang on, it's this, where it's actually not, because it's your power that you're stepping into. So,
and that's, I think, something what is really a problem for many Westerners, that they are so analytical in their mind.
It's not. I think it's not just Westerners. It's a collective low vibrational energy globally.
But
no matter where you're from.
I think, for example, if you read the book, The Autobiography of a Yogi, you understand a little bit more about the Indian culture and the relation to the gurus. For them, for example,
that's for them. So that's just one
it's
part
very normal,
of something huge.
It's very normal to receive a message on the spiritual or on the mental way from a guru. Yeah, it's very, very common in India that a guru is sending his guidance through the air directly to the person who needs to receive it. And I read a book from a lady. She was in the 1950s in India, and she got a call from her guru in Germany. She was a German lady, and she was meditating and doing all these things. And suddenly in this meditation, the master came to her and told her and taught her the practices and the knowledge she needed to know.
Yeah,
but she never was in India, and she never saw this person, and she never knew about him.
Yeah.
And then a year later, or 1.5 years later, she receives a letter, a physical letter from him, and he says, you have to come to India and visit me, and you have to study with me. And the book is called The Call, and she followed the call. In the 1950s, she's a woman. She does not have much money, but she booked the journey with the boat to India to visit Swami Shivananda in his ashram in Rishikesh. She never knew before, but she received many, many teachings from him. And then she came there, and she lived with him a couple of 1.5 years, 2 years or something. And she was writing a diary and a book. And, and that's really, really
so there's a book that you might want to, if you're into Indian philosophy, because those who are watching who have psychic abilities or are awakened know that it's not just one. And this has happened to many, many people around the world. So Anita Morjami, if you listen to her podcast, she was actually born her parents were Indian and a strict Hindu faith, but she had a near-death experience. So she'll open your eyes as to what about because it's all, whether it be yogi or whether it be Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, whatever, these are practices that are human. They've been put in human form. But this is, consciousness is, I know I am not that. So what I'm trying to say simply is you don't have to go off to an ashram to do this work. You have the ability. It doesn't matter what size you are, what color your skin is, where you're from, because racism does not exist in the world of the universe, in love and light, in the higher frequencies. It's about your true potential. So, and Dr. Joe Dispenza, he actually took, his books are amazing, when the placebo effect, you are the placebo, sorry. You are the placebo, and he has many, many podcasts as well that describes this. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you've studied. This has nothing to do with that.
It's not even about the teachings.
No, and it's not about the teachings. It's about your true potential. And one of his books, you are the placebo, but the I've got the book here. Oh, sorry, I've just forgotten one of his new releases is amazing. And Greg Braden and Dr. Bruce Lipton as well. And Dr. Bruce Lipton actually talks about what we're going through now about the biology and and viruses and how they can actually affect us consciously if we let them. So it's the thoughts and what you attach to. So if you attach to, let's just say, I have to, because I've been to India on my journey and I learned so much there and it really opened me up. But the one thing that I did learn, once I studied chakras, energy, and what Ayurveda actually is, and also yoga, studied the yogic philosophy with a professor of yoga at Kannur University in Kerala. And once he taught me this is all mystical and it's not about one thing. It's about our inner power. And you don't have to be a yogi. You don't have to be someone who meditates every day. You just have to know how to attune with who you truly are. And the magic does really happen when you learn it. It's not about a certain size. It's not about vegan or non-vegan. It's about the self. Yeah, it's about awakening to, I have this inner power. And it's a feeling that you're aiming for, not a thought. So it's a feeling. So you are your guru. You are your inner guru, your inner teacher. You are the healer. It's of you.
More intuitive than logical. That's
and sometimes a logical mind says, I must go and do this trip or that trip, or I must listen to this or that. And from my experience,
like the Buddhist teachings and the guru, they can help you and to understand you. But the problem is also that people think they have to find something certain, and then they will find it because they are the seeker will find what he is seeking because he is seeking. If you just become completely empty and see what is there, the only thing that's there, that's the self. And this self is connected with everything else.
And look, that's so magical, knowing that all you need to do is go in and ask, I need help with this, or I need help with my next step, knowing that help will come once you align with the energy. But it can only be done through the heart, not the analytical mind. And when the third eye opens up, that's when the magic happens. But it needs to be like coherency happening from the heart to the head and the head to the heart, and not going off onto I'm not doing it right, or this isn't correct, or I must listen to this teacher, because we are the teacher. All we're doing is raising up to a frequency that we're not taught to live in, but it's our truth of who we are, the love, the light, the inner peace, the calmness. So if you're watching something or listening to something, or you're out in a social group, or even at a workshop, or just attending a class, no matter what that is, just watch your energy and where it's at, because you're picking up energy from the teacher and the people around you. And if your energy is not as good as when you walked in, you know that's not right for you. If you go into a class and you know your energy is up, knowing that there is a collective energy around you, your vibration lifts up. Keep doing that, no matter what it is. It can be as simple as walking through a forest, or going for a walk in nature, looking at a beautiful flower. In that moment, you have just shifted your energy and raised your vibration. So simple. And knowing that you are connected, your senses are connected to everything, to the universe, and you've got to take that step into the sixth sense. And we're not taught. We're taught to turn that off, not to embrace it. So it's such a beautiful thing. Like, I do simple things, like I get up in the morning and say good morning world and raise my hands up to the sky and say good morning to my angels, to my guides. Thank you, thank you, thank you, to the galactic family I have up there that support me and guide me. I just say good morning, and then I just feel the energy starting to flow to me and through me. So simple. Yeah. And I say to people now, you know, if we're in this new way, in this new energy, this new world, I'd be looking for something new, not something old. Sorry, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with ancient scriptures and texts, but a lot of them are man-made. They're not made by people that are spiritual. So do your homework with what you're reading. It doesn't matter where that's from. That's not pointed at anyone. But do your homework. Do they know through experience, or do they know through theory? So there's a difference, and you'll know, because our psychic abilities are opening up, and you'll just know. There'll be a little twinge of something going, well, that's not exactly correct for me. That doesn't feel right for me. So trust that. It's your intuition saying, put that book down, or don't watch that, or don't go to that. It's not correct. It's not helping you. It's actually doing you in service.
So who can you recommend for the people to watch? I mean they can check in and see if they like it, if it's with them or no.
Well, this is what I do. I go for people that I can see over through this new, going into the, or in the new world, or in it, but how they were before we went into it, and I noticed a change. So a few people, I don't listen much to him anymore, but Matt Kahn, I have noticed listening to his new stuff that I could feel the change, and I could hear the change in what he's presenting, in the way he's communicating. Joe Dispenza is another one. Now, Joe Dispenza actually sees galactic beings in the presence of his meditation. So these are the people that you would be looking for. Anita Mujami, such a beautiful, beautiful soul. If you follow her, she's had a near-death experience also, and she shares the wisdom of how she was strict Hindu and brought up in that faith. And now she's had this beautiful spiritual experience. She had cancer, her body riddled with cancer. She crossed over and came back, and within a couple of weeks, she was cancer-free. And the doctors just record it as a miracle because they've got no explanation for it. And she talks a lot about how religion, how that's controlling us, it puts fear into us, and especially with her being Hindu as well, and now the change, brought up in Hong Kong, which means there's another faith, like with Chinese medicine and you know, a new life, and learning that as well. So it's about you finding what works for you, and if you believe that to be whatever it is to be true, that's your truth. If it's not helping you and making you feel good inside and inspiring you, means in spirit of you, it's not doing you any good. It's not helping you raise your vibration. You're taking on someone else's energy that's going to do you an injustice. It's going to cut you off from your higher self, because you're taking on someone else's energy and their belief of how you should be or behave. Or I notice, you know, my journey's been quite global, and I notice, even living here in Bali, that there's a very big difference from Hindu in India to Hindu in Bali. The belief is like very broad. It's very, very different in many ways. Even knowing friends that are Catholic and Christians, and you know, there's a certain fear. Oh, if you do that, this is going to happen to you. If you say things like that, this is going to happen to you, and you've sinned, and like there's many, many things. That's not exactly true. From my experience, we are all love, we are all light. We carry this beautiful energy within our hearts, and once we tune into that, there is no rules there. It's just trust and have faith that you are connected to something bigger than what you're told, and that's on a universal level or quantum level. So scientists or new age scientists, modern science says it's a quantum field of energy that we tune into. Now that tuning into is coming from ascendant masters, their energy. It's coming from the galactic beings, the higher intelligence of light. So light holds an intelligence. It holds key codes that we can bring into our bodies and change our DNA. It's spirit guides up there that we can pull their energy into us at will and change in that moment. That's consciousness. And we need to sometimes go into higher consciousness. And what that means is just allow them to bring that beautiful energy in, so we raise our vibration. Yeah. And Simon, can I ask you a question? Because you do a lot of teachings in yoga, what would you recommend, just maybe 2 or 3 yogic poses to keep the chakra energy flowing through the body? Because chakra energy is real, and it's a vortex of energy that flows through the body, up and down the spine and through the body, through the channels, through the meridians, the fascia. So what would you recommend?
So, I mean, the 7 main chakras, they are sitting on the spine, starting from the tailbone, going up to the crown of the head, to Sahasrara chakra.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we have chakras everywhere, even in the palms of the hands and stuff. And,
but we just need 3 exercises.
To really energize all the 7 chakras, you would use something like the Hasta Padasana, the standing forward fold.
Okay, sorry, that's taking a breath in. Can you demonstrate it? From sitting down. So it's taking a breath in and bringing the body forward.
So normally you would stay straight, with a long spine, long neck, and then you raise your arms to the sky, like opening up.
Beautiful.
And if you are that flexible and you can bring your hands down to the floor, you let your legs completely straight, but you can also bend the knees. And then you just slowly bend forward. You bring your hands down to the feet. You can stand on the hands with the feet, or you can grab the big toes with the yogic grip. So this would mean with the index finger, middle finger, and the thumb.
And what chakra are we opening?
Yeah, with this, we're opening all the chakras. We're activating the whole spine from the bottom chakra, Muladhara chakra, to the crown chakra. This is the advantage of all these intense forward folds. Also, like the sitting forward folds.
And what's another one? So that's one. What's another one?
I always have the feeling that heart chakra is very important,
So
and also our
third,
third eye, and this would be the fish, Matsendrasana.
What's an easy one though? Because not a lot of people can get into fish pose. Is there something easy?
It could be like the supported fish we use in Yin yoga classes. This means you put a pillow or maybe a folded blanket big enough, maybe like height like 15 centimeters, maybe not too high, and length maybe like 30 centimeters from the neck to the middle of the back.
Okay.
But you leave the neck free so the head can hang over, and then you lay on it and you give your arms to the side so your chest is opening up. This would be the supported fish pose we use in Yin yoga, and you can hold it like 2 or 3 minutes to really open this area, the chest and the shoulders. And this is really good.
It's really good because it sounds like something I do in my pool. And what I do, I go up, put my hands up to the heavens, to the universe, and then I bring my arms and open up the chest area, and I just breathe and throw my neck back. So you could do that anywhere, even sitting at your desk.
It's a really simple pose, and it's really good.
Maybe on your bed.
And the good thing is, with this pose, in a stress situation is a fight or flight situation where we want to fight against the cause of the stress or run away from it.
Yeah.
And in this situation, we're going in a defensive pose. So we're making ourselves small. We bring the shoulders to the front, and we are rounding the back. And with this pose, we're opening up the body, and this is subconsciously.
So is that a pose going like that?
This is like a stress pose,
That's what I was going to say. So sorry, don't get confused with that. What I think, if I could just add to that, so this means that there's something going on, and you need to open up.
And this
so we've just gone off track there a little bit. So stick to This one,
Wow.
opening yourself up, bringing more love into the self, and you
I
will
just
feel
want
the
to
energy.
say it's again, if you're really stressed or something like this,
Yeah.
this pose will help a lot, because you're coming from this, which is subconsciously giving your body signals. Are you in stress? To okay, I'm
Yeah, and
open, I'm
open
free and relaxed. Yeah.
I'm ready to receive the juices
That's
of
a really
divine.
really nice pose for that. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
And what's and third one?
To activate all the chakras, it's actually all the forwards.
You mean the 7? Because we've actually
Yeah,
got 12
many
chakras
more, yeah.
we can access now because of this new upgrade that we. So this, what's another one? One of the 7. What's another?
You could do that's really more advanced. Advanced would be the headstand.
We
yeah.
might want to. Yeah.
That's for,
You know what I've found in a lot of classes that I go to, I think and this is just my opinion, so please don't put anything, it's just how I feel. When I go to yoga classes and the teacher says pop into a headstand, you might be really enjoying it, and then I go, why did they say that? They've just taken that energy, beautiful energy of their teachings. If you're going to, this is for the teachers out, if you're going to put people into a headstand in your class, make sure you advertise it as that, because that's not for people that want to get into their yoga practice. And I find it really hard to meditate in yoga and breathe into my posture when the teacher's talking, coming from an ego, rather than allowing you to get into your posture as you feel it and breathe into it so you can move your energy, not someone else coming in and trying to teach you. It's like they're manipulating your energy in a way, because you're taking on what they're saying rather than give you space and give you time to move your body. Allow the thoughts of the mind to come in and connect with what's really going on in your body, so you can release that energy.
Yeah, I think silence is an important part of practice.
You might find this interesting. So when I trained in Bali first, in Hatha Yoga, and then I went off to India and trained with a professor of yoga, as I mentioned before, and he taught me another style of Hatha Yoga. So and then I thought, this is interesting. This is not what I was taught in Bali. And now I'm in India and they're saying it's different. But I love what I was taught. So how they did it was, you do your asana and then you go into shavasana, because you integrate that energetically into your body to raise your vibration. And everything's done with slowness and grace and ease. It's not blah, 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 blah. Now this one, now that one, now hold, now. It's nothing like that. It's more meditating.
That's a traditional Hatha Yoga. This is what I teach too. Like you go in a pose, you hold the pose comfortable, and you focus on your breath, on your experiences on the inside. And after the pose, you have the time to go to Shavasana and just relax, and the body come back to normal. I love this yoga. That's for me the real yoga.
Yeah. So you've got time to say to your body, sorry, I touched it, but there was a little bit of fluff on the thing, and I brushed it and we cut off. Yeah. So sorry about that. But when you've got time to breathe, you've got time to start sending messages into your body and saying to the part of your body that might need healing, you are amazing. So, for example, if it was your hip and you're doing some hip openers in yoga and you could feel that stiffness, that stale, stagnant energy within your body, you can breathe into that, and at will you can energetically move that energy through the body. That's your power. So just be mindful of that when you're doing classes. Nothing taken away from, if you want to go to a yoga class that's full of more exercise and more body, building the body up, go for it. If that's your thing and it brings you into your soul, into your spirit, magic. But if it's not, just start with simple, easy. Like when I first started on my journey, I was guided intuitively and channeling. I didn't even know why I was there. I can remember my first day of teaching. I actually knew the teacher, but I said to her, I don't know why, but I'm supposed to come and do your teacher training. I'm going to come and do it, but I don't know why. Anyway, we were doing a sharing circle, and there was 23 of us in the class, and everybody had this story about why they wanted to become a yoga teacher and why they were there to do yoga and this and that, all different stories. And she got to me and I said, I don't know why I'm here, but it was just a feeling that I had to be here. So let's see what happens. And you know what? I'm so glad I did that, because now I can use that as an example of what you need to do to trust that you are receiving guidance. The ego will say, oh, you need to go off and do this training. The heart will say, just trust me. I'm guiding you to something. Just trust it and do it. And that's how I did it. And that's how I became a meditation teacher.
Step by step, if you follow your heart step by step, you go the way to become what you should be. Huh?
Yeah, but it's understanding. Some people, you can't. I think if you said to someone, just follow your heart, and they don't know that experience of what a heart, following their heart feels like, how are they going to know? You don't know what you don't know. And that's what I'm finding a lot of. There's a lot of talking and words used, but there's no examples given or experiences into what that actually means. I know in my teachings of meditation, when I teach the sacred heart modalities, when people share at the end and I go, that's it, you're there. And I go, I couldn't meditate. And I said, well, tell me about your experience. And they say, well, I saw colours and I saw this and that, and I received messages and my heart just opened up. And they go, there it is. It's a feeling. You were just allowing people think that they have to do it a certain way, but they just trust. And if you need to rest, just do that. Why not? If you feel like a nap, there is no rules. Like people go, you shouldn't sleep through the day. Well, why not if your body's tired? Give it a rest. You know, many things have been put on people, especially in these times. You don't want more stress. If your body's tired and your mind's overactive and you feel like I can't stop these thoughts, or I can't get on top of anything, there's not a nice balance, I'm not harmonized, have a sleep, because your mind goes into a different state.
I think it's still many problems coming from this. We have to achieve something mentality from our efficiency, focused economy and lifestyle and everything.
Yeah. So it's about bringing in the light and the people that do that. So what I'm getting lately is to call in. And when I say call in, what I'm doing is, and if you want to try this at home, please do so. So what we're doing is putting our hands up, and you'll instantly start to feel energy coming through the hands and the receptors of the fingers, and may feel tingles, you may feel heat, you might just feel sensations, but you will feel something. And then you call in who it is that you feel you might need the energy. So I've been doing some research on, I'll give you an example. So Kuan Yin. So I was having an experience with someone, I didn't know who it was, and this happens to me many times, and I'm sure it happens to many people out there when they're doing this work. And I didn't know who she was, and it was Kuan Yin, and I started seeing visions of her. I now have her everywhere in my villa, actually, because her energy is with me. Now I have people saying to me, not many, but sometimes they'll say, you look like Kuan Yin, the way your hair is or whatever. And I just don't like, it's not as if I put my hair a certain way. It just naturally does what it needs to. I just throw it up or have it down or tie it up in a bun or whatever. They go, you really look like Kuan Yin. And I go, wow, that's because her energy is coming to me and through me. But I call it in. I just say, oh, Kuan Yin, I know you're there. Mother Mary, Jesus, Buddha, whoever, Ganeshi. I just say, come in. I invite you in to my energy. And you're believing that you are receiving. And when you do that with an open heart and have faith, you will receive from those energies. And this is where we're at the moment, to call them in. meaning we don't go up there. They come down here because they're helping us raise the vibrational frequency of the planet and of each other. They are healing the past for us. The more we call in, the more healing takes place within, and the higher we step into consciousness, or the higher vibrational frequency of consciousness, and we also connect with that energy. And like the galactic, as I said, the galactic family. So Commander Ashtar is I call him my main man, because he's the one that gives me guidance. And I believe that's who shook me the other night. Wake up, you've got to hear this message. We're sending you a message. So it can come in any way. Yeah. And what about you, Simon? You were talking about lucid dreaming before. I'm not really familiar with lucid dreaming, because I'm more a channel of them. I'm going to say them, my spiritual family and galactic family and ascendant masters. So what do you do when you lucid dream?
Yeah, it depends. So I was practicing a lot, but it takes a long time till you're really good at it, I have to say. So they're happening more randomly, and then most of the time they are not very long, and most of the time I'm just flying, and I just enjoy the flying so much that I'm not focusing on controlling them in a way where I do something specific. Yeah.
Can you tell us how, for anybody listening out there that would like to practice lucid dreaming, how it raises your vibrational frequency in this new world? So how it consciously helps us in this new way of being.
Okay, I'm not sure if they really... I mean, lucid dreaming is a state of mind that you need to practice to achieve for many people. And then you wake up in your dream and you know your body actually is sleeping. So what you are in this moment is absolute consciousness. That's your pure awareness.
So explain your perception, your perspective of consciousness.
So you are just in this moment, and you know your body is sleeping. You're just completely aware that this is a world of imagination, and you could do whatever you want. And the first thing I ever did there was sitting down and meditate. And whatever came up in this moment, I know it was from my dream. It was not real.
Can you give us an example?
About what?
You dream when you were saying...
what happened there?
Yeah. So like I could say, well, I was meditating, and then Buddha and Jesus come before me, and they put their hands on my head, blah, 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 blah. So what's the example that you could share about that experience that would be helpful?
Yeah. So actually I was meditating is a form of stabilization of your dream. Yeah. It's really
for you.
No. Yeah. It's a practice used in lucid dreaming to stabilize your dream. Yeah. And meditation is more clear in a dream, because you know everything what comes there is imaginal. Yeah. And what I had I was just full of silence, full of peace, and there was just white light. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you feel in your heart?
I was like you feel when you're deeply meditating. You're just in peace. You're just happy, and not even like overexcited, but just like calm and peaceful. There was just light, and the good thing was really that your pure awareness, it's just my consciousness awake right now and nothing else. My body is sleeping. So it's really, really interesting.
Yeah. So in my experience, similar to spirit, when we step into spirit world, that it's similar. It feels like, but when you're in your spirit, so we've got the mind, we've got the body, and we've got our spirit. The spirit, you just know that this is your eternal self, that this is never ending. It doesn't feel like a dream or lucid dreaming. You just know that what you're in is the real you. It's like when we see people say it's like a homecoming, feels like a homecoming. It feels like so euphoric. There are no words on this planet to describe the feeling of consciousness, what consciousness is, what you can draw on. You have this understanding that I am that. So when we say I am that is used as consciousness to get you back to consciousness. So you might say I am light to the self, but you have to do it in a way that you are coming from the heart, which means your belief system, which is in your mind, is overridden and the heart takes over.
And that's the advantage meditating in lucid dreaming. Whatever is appearing there, what might you separate from the I am that, I am the whole. You can say that's not me, it's from my dream, it's from my sleeping body. So now in the real world, I'm meditating and there are coming many thoughts and impressions. Maybe my leg is hurting, my knee is hurting, and I say, oh, my knee. And then I'm identifying with this pain and my body and everything. And in the dream, you're just sitting there. Whatever comes there to you, you say, that's not me. It's from my dream. That's why,
beautiful. That's magical.
There's a Buddhist, it's called the Burn Buddhism. It's a Buddhism which is teaching dream yoga, and they teach lucid dreaming, and they say we are not practicing during the day. During the day we are busy with the work in our monastery, and we need to keep everything running. We're practicing at night when we go.
From my experience, for even in Vipassana, you leave your mind, or you quieten your mind, you relax your body, calm your body, your mind, or you quieten your mind. You relax your body, calm your body, and then you step into the spiritual side. So your consciousness is the awareness that you are. Then you step into the spiritual side. So your consciousness is the awareness that you are that. And you're stepping away from that. And you're stepping away from your body and away from your mind. That's your body and away from your mind. That's consciousness. Yeah, so it's interesting. That's what I mean. There's so many
techniques,
I guess,
teachings,
and I guess that's why Simon and I are doing this, because to create a new way of maybe thinking about things, or maybe there's something that we said and go, oh, I might try that, or yeah, I had that experience and it may not have worked for you, or
maybe you just need to hear it right now.
Or maybe you just need to hear that one thing that's going to take you to a higher understanding of your uniqueness and how you can manifest. So just before we finish up, the law of attraction, this is how we do it. We do it through feeling, not through thought, as many people have thought in the past, but it's through a feeling. So when you're at your highest energy, meaning when your vibrational frequency is up, that's when you create. That's the best time to create. Your solar plexus is open, the energy is flowing, your mind is ready, your third eye is open, and off you go. That's the best time to create. Feels a little bit like an orgasm. And then go out and create it, because it's your spirit. So when you feel good, that's the best time. So a little bit like too when you walk through maybe a jungle or a rice field. For me, it's like rice fields, just going into nature. Or it could be just having a swim in the ocean, or a swim in the swimming pool, or just being around people that make you laugh. Because if they're making you laugh, or you're laughing with them, their vibrational frequency is up with yours. Yeah. So beautiful. Yeah. Have a beautiful day, everyone. And Simon, would you like to add anything before we finish up?
No, I'm fine. I think, I think that's all. It's okay.
And we'll be doing this again next week.
Yeah.
And also, I'll also be doing more with friends from Yoga Barn, doing interviews and just making these podcasts, whatever you want to call them. I just call the information that we put out, because I believe we're in a time where we share our insight, we share our experiences to help others thrive. So have a beautiful day, everyone. Point your lips up to the heavens and keep smiling.
Yeah, bye.
Sending so much love from Bali.